Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and today we're talking movie theater experiences. I want to hear your pet peeves down below, but what we're going to focus mostly on is this idea of commercials happening after the showtime. That kind of irks me a little bit. You're paying so much to go to the movies these days, and I understand they're complaining that it's a tough year. They're not making much at the box office due to competitions from streamings, etc. But guys, I don't know if you actually, when the last time you went to the movie theater is, but there's usually a half hour of trailers. And that doesn't necessarily bother me because I'm used to it now and you can sort of know to go to your theater at the right time. And most screenings, unless it's Endgame, they don't really sell out. You can usually time and go to a movie, at least in my local theater, to know when you're going to get a seat. So you don't have to wait there and get, half hour before and do all this stuff, at least in my area. But when you do, and you go with a family and you buy your popcorns and stuff, you're already $40 out from the concession stand. You're already $40 out in your tickets when you got a full family. And then you're there sitting finally in your place, and then there's 30 minutes of trailers. Remember when Coco came out and they put the half-hour Frozen short in front of it? So the people were watching for an hour before Coco even started. That was like Thanksgiving weekend. I remember reading stuff, and Reddit even said some theater workers were like, getting yelled at because families like, I gotta get home. Why is this Frozen movie playing? The point is, when you put too much before the movie, the audience gets annoyed, and it's not good for the theater experience. And I am all for the theater experience. We need to support going to the theater. Otherwise, I feel like movies is going to just slowly fade out. People say, no, I want to watch it at home. And I see the appeal for some movies, but we can't not have a darkened movie experience with a fellow crowd laughing together. It's an experience like no other. So the theater experience is important. So it's a catch-22 we have here because they're saying they're not making enough money. These multiplexes are huge, tons of movies playing. And the popcorn, which is now like $9 at my theater for a large popcorn, apparently still isn't enough, even though that popcorn costs them like 10 cents. Now they are bickering over pre-show ads. And so Regal and Cinemark have already agreed to air ads during the previews. So they're going to add 6 minutes of commercials after the movie showtime, including a minute-long promo during the coming attractions. So that means before the trailers, they're going to show you some commercials or in between the trailers, and then they are saving this spotlight sort of spot for a platinum spot is what they're calling it. So that way advertisers can pay extra because this means it's the one thing they're all going to see. Not even the trailer necessarily, like a big fun trailer that the studio wants you to see. They're going to sit for this one commercial that everyone's sitting there glued already with their popcorn. They've already been late. Everyone's in. They're all going to watch this dumb commercial. Now, look, if that's going to keep theaters there, great. But at the same time, I'm frustrated because we're already paying too much to get to the movies in the first place. I have AMC A-list, and I realize sometimes I get screening access, and so I'm lucky enough to get that once in a while. But then with, my family stuff, jobs, everything going on, it's hard to always fit in as many movies as I'd like to make that worthwhile. And the cost of it does start to add up. And then when you go with your family, that's, 3 more tickets you got to buy. So I understand how most of America probably has trouble making time and money to go to the movies as often as they probably would like to. So when you do, and you make the money and you make the time to now have to sit through another 6 minutes, is it too much? Is it not enough? Where do you guys stand? I find this, tough because I want to see the theaters to stay, and I want to make sure they're making money. But are they really not making enough money? There must be other ways to cut down costs. Show less movies? I don't know. I'm fascinated by this idea, but adding more content after the showtime is really crazy. I mean, when you're going to get a film like The Irishman, which is 3 hours long, which is going to be in some theaters, but granted, Endgame, can you imagine going, or Star Wars, let's talk about coming out. Actually, they talk about this when you go to see Star Wars come December, within a trailer or two of the movie, you'll get a 60-second ad that we're calling the Platinum Spot. That'll one of the most attractive spots in media because you're going to be sitting there, everyone's in. But this idea of another 6 minutes, including a minute-long commercial before it, if they're actually going to invest in these commercials and they're going to be cool, maybe, but this will all start debuting in November. They're planning for this to happen for the winter season when everyone's in there for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they want to make some serious cash. And to be honest, I've worked, I know people, we shot at a movie theater here in Florida, and the independent theaters, they have trouble. That's not, weekends and holidays. Then they do great. But they have trouble getting people in during the week and during the day. And that makes sense. It's a lot of businesses have that trouble. And so now they're trying to do re-releases and anniversary screenings. And even here we do gaming events that I've been starting to help run and do. So esports is becoming a big deal where some theaters are taking advantage of that. So I think the theaters need to be smarter about how to make sure and how to make events for people to come in and actually, create these types of things. What's it called? FanDumb events throw some cool stuff. But how do the chains, AMC, Cinemark, etc., how do they figure out more exciting things they can own, or events, or esports, or other ways to make the theater become another destination beyond just the movies to help bring in the bottom line and not keep taking it out on us consumers by upcharging the popcorn and upcharging now with ads. It's just becoming a little bit too much to bear. And I think the audience will eventually revolt. If the movie's starting 36, 40 minutes after a start time, that's extreme. And some of these movies are long. And so, with the advent of, advanced tickets and movie theaters not always being crowded, you can sort of time that. But it is frustrating that you can't get sort of like 2 times on your ticket, like Showtime and actual Showtime. But obviously they'll never do that. What do you think? Is that the most annoying thing for you? I mean, aside from people talking and goddamn going on your phone during the movie, it's the worst friggin' thing. We see the light behind you. You think you're doing nothing, but you're shining a massive light in my face. And it's in the corner of my eye, and I've paid for the theater experience, and you're shining a flashlight at me. It's the most irritating thing people do in the world. I can't stand it. What is your pet peeve in the movie theater? Just 6 minutes of ads? Would that take the cake? I want to hear all your thoughts. Hit me up on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or down in the comments below. Speaking of commercials, why not stick around and watch this post-roll ad to help my channel succeed? That would mean a lot to me. And if this video was long enough, maybe I put one in the middle too, because hey, more commercials. I can relate to it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back with more videos soon. Have an awesome night, and I'll talk to you later.